I'm still out of breath. So literally, just before the episode, Lance and I decided that we should probably have like a few little props.
Yeah.
So
took some pictures, set them all up, lovely displays. It's just like, yeah, they're over there. I'll go and get them.
Yeah.
How are you doing, mate? Evening, guys.
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm all right, buddy. I'm pretty. The old air loft's a little bit warm tonight.
Yeah,
it's not ideal. Not going to lie. So if you do get a bit of fan feedback, I apologise, but it's either that or a fan on or balls out. So
one could say all the audience comments that we get are fan feedback.
Well, I'm not going to bang the desk because the camera turned off. I was about to drum roll, and I won't.
Hi Nick, hi Gaz, hi Fresh Meat, hi Les, hi Andy.
Hello. Even Andy, Les, fresh meat, cold beer helps. Andy. It does help, mate. Yeah, but if you've got to work in about 2 hours' time, then negative can't be done. Unfortunately, zero tolerance, mate.
Tonight's drink of choice is 7-Up free.
And I'm sponsored. Well, I'm not sponsored by Tor, but drink of choice tonight is Diet Coca-Cola.
Nice.
There we go. Lovely.
I'll tell you what, right? Just as a massive aside, I never really used to drink 7-Up because I was like, well, it's a poor man's Sprite, isn't it?
Is this like a genuine advert coming on now? However.
Yeah, but since drinking 7-Up free, I've noticed a 30% increase in fertility.
Boom. Wallop, there it is.
Oh, blimey. How is everybody?
Can't beat in the chat. Right, Gaz, you're right, mate. You're absolutely right, mate. It's like my picture of me in my poo chair. Got to cool the gooch down, bud. It's all about having a cool gooch.
Just got glasses on.
Yeah, cool gooch. Couple of tats.
Nick says, haven't you got the children wafting big fans over you yet?
No, sadly not, mate. No, they're downstairs eating some nicely chilled apple slices before bed. So there we go. That's the bedtime snack.
It's very sophisticated.
It is. Oh, look, November Foxtrot are live talking about day packs. If anyone's interested in going to watch them, I heard they're very good. Yes. Any news, mate?
Yes. So I bought off of eBay for the grand sum of £30 a new unused Virtus hydration bladder. That replaces the... I should have brought that up as well, fuck me. It replaces the rocket pouch on the side of the Bergen. But in that was a brand new 3-litre Source hydration bladder with a tube, obviously being Source, and the little mouthpiece. And the mouthpiece is brand new, unopened. And they cost about £12, £15 on their own. So
I think you got a bit of a bargain there, mate, by the sounds of it.
I was well chuffed with it.
Yeah, nice. Good stuff.
Other than that, no, I haven't really bought a lot. I bought a new tent. I bought the Dutch. That one.
Oh, yes. The one I've been peddling recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good bit of kit, mate. You won't go wrong. Andy, a nice cool bath with a Corona, watching two men chat about bags. Fair play. That sounds good. Let's get Andy on quick. Will you send him a link? Get him in the show. Let me make some bubbles quick. Hang on.
That's our OnlyFans account.
That's it. Yeah, that's the after hours account.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view.
NoFo.
I got a actually I've gone down a bit of a Dutch Army rabbit hole recently because I've just arrived was my new Thermarest self-inflating sleep pad, Dutch Army one.
Yeah, I also have one of those because you sent that to me.
Which is wicked, by the way, and I was genuinely impressed at how sort of like rugged and strong the material is of it. Really cool. And super comfy and really easy to pack away as opposed to my other roll mat, which is a ball ache to get all the air out of it, to get it small enough to get in the stuff sack. This one's magic. Open that valve and it's just like roll it up like a normal roll mat. So you're loving that. Even Tom.
Les has just given us an angry face. Les, why have you given us an angry face?
Angry Les? Where is this angry face?
Sorry, Les. I don't know if I missed you out from saying hello. Hi, Les.
Hi, Les.
Hi, Rage as well.
I can't even see Les's angry face.
Oh, no, it comes up.
I've just done. Welcome back.
That's on the super duper controls that I've got.
Where do you get all this Dutch stuff from? The Dutch,
military. Mainly. Military Mart.
Sorry, one of us is going to say it's usually me with my stupid comments. Sorry, Nick, there's a genuine question and I apologise for my stupid answer. Yeah. Military Mart, mate. Or Into the Wilderness, another company called Into the Wilderness, which is a very good company, which I've used several times. So highly recommend them as well for Dutch Army tents and bits and bobs like that, mate. Actually, they do a fountain of stuff, all sorts. Okay.
Yeah, and Andy's saying I would go live, be proud of what I was given.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Hi, Dimitri.
As they say, you can only piss with the cock you got.
And on that note, this week we're talking about bags.
Bombshell. Let's talk about the bag. Moving on to the bag.
Specifically day sacks. We've covered a lot in the past on Bergens. We did a whole episode on Bergens. Feel free to jump back and watch that if you'd ever like to. I
think you've stirred up Liz a bit.
You've definitely somehow done an angry face. I don't know why it's come up on the screen.
I can't see this angry face of which you speak.
No, that's fine.
What does this tell John?
He says, "Why is it me that always lows down?" Hi, John.
It is genuinely you, always you, Andy. Not only did you start a horrid Facebook page last week, you've got all pervy on us. What's all that about?
I don't want another Facebook group with it being pervy.
We love pervy, Mike. Don't do that. No, genuinely don't do that.
No, please don't. Yeah, we're talking about bags. Day sacks. We've obviously covered Bergens in the past. Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. Covered Bergens in the
genuinely
past.
Worried now. Got a bit of a sweat on it.
Yeah, we talked about Bergens in the past. We've talked about odd bits, a bit of kit to carry about with you, toolkits, stuff like that. But obviously, day sacks are a vitally important part of pretty much most MilSims. You're not going to be carrying your Bergen around the whole time with you. It's just too big and bulky.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you use as a bag, Lance?
I mean, it depends on the sort of scenario you're in, buddy. Really, and obviously what you've got to carry with you at that specific time. I mean, in an ideal world, you'd like to know what you're going to be doing when you went out on a patrol or you on one particular part of the scenario that you're going into, and sort of be able to pack accordingly for that. But for example, you could be a QRF team who literally going out on the ground as a QRF team, which would be sort of like a rapid response, quick in and out, blah, 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 perhaps an hour to close something down, collect something, bring it back. But then it could all change. You know, whilst out on the field, something else could develop. So you're out on the ground with just your basic setup. Could have had a day sack on you with a couple of bits in it, maybe. Yeah. So I think it's very much scenario dependent. Depends on your role in the event. As an individual within like a team or the section, and obviously with the tasking you've been given, what you've got to do. So, I mean, for a rule of thumb for me, if I'm going out with my plate carrier on and my shooter's belt, if you like, I'll take like my 17-litre assault pack as a sort of genuine guide, and that'll contain, depending again on the weather, if it's boiling hot day, probably not going to want my jet boil. Get away with having a cold water or putting on isotonic powder in a drinks cup and using that. So, but sort of like a rule of thumb for me, genuinely, it'd be like my jet boil, perhaps an extra bottle of water, defo first aid kit. Again, weather dependent, a waterproof layer of some description, a poncho or a Gore-Tex jacket. Maybe a couple of little small sundry bits, perhaps a spare battery, and things like that. Like I said, a lot of the stuff I'm going to have on me anyhow, it's going to be either on my belt, on my rig, or my person as such, like my immediate action sort of bits and bobs that I'd need. But any additional things, obviously, will go in a day sack. So yeah, not a massive amount of kit. And obviously, it depends on how long you're going to be out on the ground for. If you're going to go out on a recce for sort of 4, 5, 6 hours, you know, you could potentially going to want to take bits of you if you're going to have to put a sort of like a hide in place. So you could be talking camo netting, a bit of paracord for stringing up something like that, to make yourself a bit of a hide, rations or extra water. Things and bits and bobs like that. You know, you might have a camera, things like that, if you've got to get photographs or anything sort of along them sort of lines. So yeah, I think it's very dependent on the sort of role you're carrying out at the event. If you follow me, sort of thing, it's all very dependent on that. You know, it's chop and change. It's a great thing about having a day sack is that it's easy to chop and change. You know, don't need that, take this, take that, and that's it. You're good to go. Nice and quick grab bag sort of thing, which is cool. What about yourself, Mike?
So I mean, this is a good point you made earlier about, you know, potentially you don't actually have to have a day sack. And I do take back the word. I do take back the words that I said about, you know, it's quite essential because, to be fair,
well, no, it is though. It is.
And Fresh Meat just pointed this out. You don't have to use one because if you have got webbing on you and you've got all the kit on you, that's just I'd say. Sorry, Mike, cutting you off there, mate. So no, that's fine.
Fucking dangerous territory there. You're
I
on
can
thin
keep you
fucking
up.
ice, my pedigree chums. Like Wayne, a lot of the time I've seen him at events, he's always had a belt kit on webbing. So essentially, what you'd have in your webbing set is what you'd have in a day sack. Do you know what I mean? You've got your essential food, water, ammo, medic kit, blah blah blah, bits and bobs like that. So you essentially you're wearing your day sack around your waist. So totally get that, you know. But on top of that, if Wayne's going out in the field for a bit longer, or he's doing like an overnight or something like that, he might want a day sack on him for if he's got to carry a little, like maybe a jungle bag or a whoopee blanket, extra belt waterproof, something like anything like that at all. You know, like a little foot care kit. You know, so Wayne don't use one; he just ponces off me most of the time, anyhow. So
Don't need a whoopee if you all get skin to skin contact.
that's it, baby. Big spoon.
Yeah, Nick's made a good point. So day sack is or can be used in place of a belt order. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it depends on. It's very dependent on the event. So, for example, I've used the the MTP GSR. Oh, sorry. I've used the MTP GSR bags. You know, the kind of slightly triangular ones. I've used those as like quick grab bags before. There's obviously an ammo grab bag as well that they do, which sort of nice pouches and stuff.
Yeah, I've actually got that one. Yeah, that's one you meant to talk about. I've got the OD Green Black Hawk one.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
When you open it up, you've got your M4 mag pouches in there or whatnot, bits and bobs in there.
Yeah, see, I mean, you've got that's a really nice one. You've got set up there with your map and everything like that. You know, it's just it's ideal depending on the situation. Yeah, very.
So that you can see it green screen, green maps.
I tend to opt for these bags.
Private Raticus, evening, mate.
These are the Miltech backpack. I don't know what else they're called. They come in two sizes. So this is the smaller of the two, which I think is 20 litres.
Yeah, that looks slightly bigger than mine. I've got the 17 Virtus one, which is here, and that's yours is looking a little bit bigger than.
Yeah, this is a bit more
yours looks bigger than mine.
This is currently full of hospital food because I'm not getting fed in the hospital apparently. So this is my backup bag of food.
Magic.
But that's just an example of the DPM one I've got. I should have bought shares in this company because I'm just leaning off camera. I also use this one for my work bag. So this is the bigger one. So I've got all of these in all different colours and sizes. I think that one's 40 litres, 50 litres, something like that.
I think that's the same as my work bag. I've got the Coyote Tam Combat UK. I think mine was made by. That's the one I got about 6 years ago, and it's she's still going. Oh my god, the Christmas bag.
I also have a red one, which this is my car kit or my rape bag, as we decided to call it, rape kit or whatever we called it. Was it? What did we call it?
No, it was a murder bag. It was
murder bag.
Mike.
That was it, murder bag.
Jesus Christ, Mike, really?
It's definitely not a rape kit. I take that back. Please don't pull at me.
Please don't go offline now.
This is my murder bag, and I'm going to be writing murder bag on that to remember.
Andy Bob has just reminded us it is murder bag. Thank you, Andy.
It's murder bag. Thank you.
I'd like to apologise on behalf of Mike for his indiscretion just there.
It's been a long day. So this is the Miltech Assault Pack Large. But I have one of these in my car as well. So that's the kind of general bags I tend to use. They're just relatively easy. They've got molly on the sides of them. You know,
they're great.
Never really had a problem with them, to be honest with you.
No, I haven't. I mean, how much is one of them bags set you back, Mike? The 40 litre one?
Oh, they're about 20 quid, 25 quid each, something like that.
Yeah, I think my one was. I got the Combat UK one. I think it's about 40 quid. And it's solid. It's a solid bit of kit. It's never failed me. And it's still going strong now. Really good bit of kit. And I use that. That's like my EDC bag, everyday stuff. You know, wallet goes in there, spare battery, little first aid kit, taking the dog out for a stroll, flask of coffee and that in there, bits and bobs. So it's a good sized bag. You know what I mean, you can add additional bits and bobs in there as and when you see fit, really. So yeah, that's cool.
One of the things I just wanted to point out with these, I mean, I get it that, you know, there are better bags out there. I haven't got a problem with that. But these are relatively cheap. There we go. A little bit, and they come pretty much in every colour that you could possibly want. You know, so I've got the dark blue for my private military, not for my media one because it goes with my blue uniform.
Oh yeah, good shout.
But the foliage, my absolute favourite, to be fair, I don't know if it's on it, is this one. I really like the.
I like the look of that. That's got a bit of a rusty sort of look about it.
Yeah, I do like that one. That's my favourite.
Yeah, that's cool. Nice.
Colours and sizes and stuff. So,
and if, like I said, Mike, you've tried and tested, you've got several of them, so they clearly work for you. They can clearly hold their stuff. So yeah, again, it's not always down to the label that's on there and the price of it. It's whether it's been tried and tested. I think.
Sorry,
Mike's
Les
got
has
a
just
large
said
rate,
Mike's got a
bad
large
glass.
rate.
Use that next MilSim. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Good heavens.
That is the murder bag. Yep.
Yeah.
Your surprise sex
So
bag. No, it's the murder bag. It's the murder bag. So in that one, for example, I've got. I mean, I know that this isn't technically a day sack per se.
Potentially digging yourself a rather big hole here, Mike.
I know. But I've got. So we were talking about the multi-fuel cookers the other day. So
the old fire dragon fuels. Yeah.
Fire dragon fuel. I've also got this little nifty thing, and this is purely for my car. But this is actually a little grappling hook.
Yeah, obviously, because you'd need it.
Well, here's the benefit. It can pick up coins, so it's a reverse action grabber. Sorry, this is going hugely off topic. But the idea is that as it lowers down.
How big are the coins you're trying to pick up, Mike?
Well, it's more like if you drop your keys down a grate or something like that. That's the idea. But as you lower it down, the hook opens, and then as it pulls up, it shuts.
Oh, kinky.
So, yeah. That's my little go-to. But yeah, in terms of actual MilSims and stuff like that, because I'm pretty sure that's what we're talking about.
Let's get back on the trail, shall we?
Yeah. So it generally tends to be. Sorry, it's been a very long day for me.
Yeah, it's been a very long day. I can see that.
It tends to be water, sweets, tools. So within the tools,
of your victims, Mike is Batman. That's a new Facebook page, I think. Mike is. I am the Batman. Could you just do that for us?
No, it's that way, isn't it?
No, you still see the mouth. It's the eyes that have got the mask on.
Oh. I'm like chubby Batman.
No.
Oh, blimey! I'm so sorry.
Just stop now. Come on, lads.
Right.
This is their fault.
Yeah.
This is not Nick and that fault.
So tools, I talk about defogging stuff. That's quite important. So at the moment where I'm running the Edge tactical eyewear, I take a spare bandana, something, sort of try and keep my head dry, sort of soak the sweat up and stuff. Just stuff for the gun. I mean, that's the main one I use. So for example, changing batteries, that's obviously quite important. Little speed loader, if they're pistol mags, anything like that. Fuck's sake. Sorry. Andy's just said pics loading up onto the Facebook page now. Can't wait. Right, Rage, thank you ever so much for an actual sensible question. First aid kit in your patrol pack or on the belt, set up and rig?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've got like your IFAC, obviously beyond your person. So, I mean, obviously, in all essences, a MilSim, especially like for a blue force sort of side. You can use your tourniquet, obviously, as a way of medicing someone back in, as opposed to bandage. So, you'd have your tourniquet on there, and that's obviously your FFD. And then on from that, an actual sort of first aid kit for cuts and scrapes and that in the field. I'll either have that. If I'm wearing a belt kit, like a webbing set, I'd have that in one of the rear pouches. Or if I'm wearing a plate carrier, I'll run a little first aid kit in my day sack as well. And easily to get. I don't go for day sacks that are mollied onto rigs. I always go for a backpack-esque, purely because if it's mollied onto my back and I'm on my Jack Jones, I've got to take my whole rig off, which potentially means comms have got to come out and all that cocking around to get to something in your bag. Whereas if it's just on your back, you can take this off, manhandle it yourself, get what you want out, zip it back up, straight back on your back. It's no dramas in for me. So some people it works for some people having one mollied on your back, but each to their own. Absolutely individual choice that is. But yeah, with first aid kit, I'll definitely have an actual first aid kit if you like, in the day sack or in my webbing, in the belt kit.
Do you find you have a variation of first aid kit? Because I normally take the like the full St. John's ambulance, like the green one, like the kind of.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I've got that one, which is that usually comes all. That's like the big one, if you like. That comes all like the camping trips, for family camping and things. I always take that one, but I've got one. It's I think it's a personal mine extraction kit pouch. It's an old Desert Molly, just a pouch I've got, and I've literally just built my own little personal first aid kit in there, which has got some couple of dressings, a couple of bits of eye wash, some burn gel, plasters, just general bits of bits. I've got some paracetamol and ibuprofen in there, and just a general kit for sort of general everyday nooks and scrapes and things you can come across, especially obviously I've got some eye wash in there in case someone does, something like you've got pyro going off the bird, so I've got burn gel, just general things that you could encounter in sort of an event. you know. And that'll be like the main kit, and that'll go in my day set. But it's only like an iPhone sort of size pouch. You know, it's not enormous. You know, it's not over the top. You know, I'm just crammed it full of stuff. I might need that, or I might need that. And there's loads of gels and stuff in there. If it's that bad, you'll go back to the safe zone, or do you know what I mean? But just if you cut yourself, or you catch yourself on your rear or anything, you know, anything like that, anything sort of minor, you can treat, clean, you know, get it dressed, and you know, happy days.
I mean, that's an important point as well in itself, is the fact that don't overpack your stuff. I mean,
exactly, yeah.
You know,
and don't pack shit that you don't know how to use either. Don't pack stuff that you think, oh, I'll put it in there because I've seen it somewhere, but I've no idea what I'm doing with it. Which I don't think anyone would anyhow. Do you know what I mean?
I'll be honest. When you said that, I'm struggling to think of things that I wouldn't know how to use. Potentially eye wash. But I mean, no, like emergency tracheotomy kits or anything like that.
That's it. Yeah. But especially on the side of creams and things like that. You know what I mean? Because obviously, you know, especially as it is at the minute, you know, pandemics and cleanliness and things like that. If you've got creams in there, if it's just for your own personal use, then that's fair enough. But you know, if you're going to dish it out, you don't know if someone's going to have a reaction to it. You know, they might not know, you might not know. So sort of steer away from sort of ointments and things like that. I think eye wash is only saline, so you know, it's for purely irrigating wounds or you know, your eyes and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, also, you know, again, I would always err on the side of it being very dependent on whatever event you're going to. So if you're going to be trekking a half an hour to an hour away from your main sort of harbour area fob, then you're going to need a lot more than if you're 10, 15 minutes away. You know, it's going to make a huge difference, especially in terms of medications. So, for example, I've played before with someone who's quite severely diabetic. They needed an insulin injector thing. Because if they had a crash or whatever, it's going to be an hour before we can get back to the fob.
Exactly.
And that's where they were keeping like the main stuff. So yeah, I mean, Nick's just said antihistamine. You know, any kind of those little medications and stuff. I know we've sun cream's another good one. The amount of times I've seen people get really burnt on MilSims because they haven't taken any sun cream at all. Same as like.
I mean, to be honest, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't carry that in my kit as if like out on the ground, but I always make a point quite religiously. Obviously, like the Imperium event we done, where we were harboured up. Obviously, there was a lot of lime water, standing water there, so it was really cool because it was night time. All you could hear were the frogs. It was very jungle-esque, like it was really like I loved it. It was really good, but comes with that the territory of mosquitoes and that. So, luckily enough, I had the old DEET cream. British Army issue, the green DEET tube, brilliant stuff. Didn't have any problems all weekend with it. I got 1 or 2 bites on the leg where I might have missed a spot, but other than that, it was absolutely perfect. So in the mornings or in the evenings, I was like, lads, look, I've got my little admin EDC pouch out. It's got all my little bits and bobs in it. So look, there's DEET cream there, boys. There's sun cream there. Make sure you live yourselves up before we go out. Want everyone covered and everyone happy, sort of thing like that. So yeah, and that was sort of like a bit of a ritual for the couple of days. You know, come to me to be creamed. Take that as you want.
Yeah. Rage says, I'm going to move on. Rage says, I keep my first aid kit in an IFAC pouch on my belt and then have one with a bit more kit for if things are really that bad. I keep in my backpack all back at the base. Exactly that.
Yeah, it's perfect, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
Apparently, he's also seen people with eye gels and other airways in their kits without knowing how to use them. Yeah. To be fair, I one of the roles I had where I was that UN medical doctor officer bloke, I packed that with a whole load of just general random medical stuff that I could find.
Yeah, but that's different for a role playing element.
Exactly.
Isn't
it? I had like the little finger blood pressure sensor as well. I've got one of those, and I've got like a little in-ear thing as well. So nice. I was like, I just needed like medical stuff, but you don't need that as a general thing. So.
Oh, Dimitri's on it. Just don't forget the toilet paper. Absolutely. Good shout, mate.
The DEET cream's really good though. I know we I borrowed yours at Octo when we were at Gunman.
That's right,
Gunman, Tuddenham. I always get those confused. Tuddenham, and that was really good. So.
Yeah, the DEET cream is good. I highly recommend that, chaps.
Yeah.
Actually, I must order some more. Actually, we did go through it a bit at that Imperium event, so I have to get some more ordered.
So, I mean, one of the other things to consider as well is, to be honest with you, just what mission-specific stuff you need. So maps, I know some of the roles that we've played in the past kind of need a slight change in whatever tasking you're doing. So, for example, I was like an IED a ATO. Are they called ATOs? Yeah. Where basically we had IEDs on the ground. I was bomb disposal. I'm sorry, my camera's gone. So I had a metal detector going as well, which is the Valen. With that, so I had that packed away in a day sack. You might have roles which, it depends on the game really. I mean, there was the DEA game we did where we were obviously having to interrogate civilians.
Yeah, so you'll have a detained kit
members.
sort of thing on you. Do you know what I mean? So you'd have you have plastic cuffs, you might have a hood or a blacked out set of goggles and things like that. Different bits for collecting evidence, bags, all those sorts of bits and bobs which you can get and sort of gather into a sort of like a little kit. And again, that can just be chucked into a day sack. I mean, like I said, they're really versatile bits of kit to have. I mean, especially if you've gone out like 2 men out on the ground or 2 men within a section, you could turn and say, like, well, I'll take a shelter with us. I'll take an extra couple of bottles of water. You can take a jet ball and a couple of sets of rations, and then we're sort of golden. Then, do you know what I mean? There's that little buddy system there. Obviously you can square yourself away, but you're then going to have to sort of think about taking a sort of slightly bigger pack. Packing all your own shelters and bits and bobs like that in there. So it would be nice, obviously, with events if it's over a wider area. So you do utilise that day sack a lot more. I mean, I did at the Imperium one. I had bits and bobs in there for the guys. Bit of little bag of morale in there. Some sweets and. Dishing out bits and bobs as you went throughout the day. I mean, we all did that. I mean, everyone carried a few bits and bobs on them, but it was just nice to be able to. And obviously, if your hydration pack does fail you, and you've got a couple of bottles of water in your day sack, then you can easily, like I say, lose it off the shoulder, grab yourself a bottle out, keep yourself hydrated. And it's also adding that little element of confidence. Say, well, at least I know I've got that on me. I've got that bit of kit on me if we need it. And it was a good thing as well because I run my mortar tube out of my day sack as well. So that was a nice. Little add-on to have that ability that we can sort of put down some suppressive rounds sort of thing via using mine and Wayne's mortar tubes at the weekend, which was great. Nice and comfortable. Sling the mortar back in the bag. It was a sort of slightly oversized bag, so you just chuck it in there. Had a few rounds on a bandolier in there for the mortar, and it was perfect. You know what I mean? Still had plenty of space for the other kit, and you don't really notice it, especially if you're wearing webbing as well, because it sits on top of the webbing, so it's sort of your webbing's also holding a bit of the weight of the bag. And it wasn't overly heavy. I mean, come on, let's be honest. I mean, it's never going to be stupidly heavy a day sack.
No, well, this is the thing. I mean, you're not carrying a full Bergen around with you, are you? So
that's
it's
exactly
going to be much lighter. Like I think, and Rager's just asked, would you keep mortar rounds and tag rounds or extra pyro in a patrol pack? I mean, definitely. The only caveat to what I would say that is with carrying spare ammo and things like that, it depends on what the rules of the game are.
Sure.
So there are obviously some MilSim rules where you're not really meant to be taking spare ammo into the field. So if you've got bags and bags of BBs in your backpack, and you're running around, then it gives an unfair advantage. But that being said, again, if you're setting up like a forward base, or you're going to be bedding down for a long time, then it might be acceptable. It just depends on the game.
Yeah, exactly that, mate. Exactly that. Yeah, I mean, with regards to mortars and pyro and things like that, I mean, obviously, as long as I personally think it's fine. As long as you're sensible with it. You know what I mean? As long as you're sensible with how you're storing it. At the end of the day, it is a pyrotechnic. It can go off. So, I mean, obviously, my mortar rounds were in a proper bandolier, 40mm grenade bandolier. And obviously, they were in the outer pouch of my bag, so they weren't inside the bag of any other bits of kit. So they were in their own pocket on the outside of the pack with the mortar tubing out on the inside. So it's just being safe and being sensible with it. Obviously, not taking the piss. I mean, I've seen people with like a utility pouch on the side of their plate carrier, which is just crammed full of Mark Vs, like to the point where you can't get one out. So there could potentially be about 30 Mark Vs in one pouch, and it's just like, whoa, you know what I mean? I'd hate for one of them to go off and sort of start a chain reaction of events, which could be horrid. I mean, I normally carry 1 to 2 smoke grenades in dedicated pouches, and I'd say maybe 3 or 4 Mark Vs, either in the individual internally in my dangler, which has got little Velcro loops inside, little elasticated loops, so they can individually sit. No chance from rubbing against each other, so they're secured nicely. So it's usually 3 or 4 Mark Vs and 1 smoke and possibly a pea grenade. I can't remember the last time I used one, but it's normally no more than sort of 6 items of pyro, not including the mortar. I think of that as a sort of a different entity in a pack. Do you know what I mean? But personal kit wise,
but it gets ridiculous if you're running around like Bomberman. You've got 300 Mark Vs on you. Like it's just mad because that's not in any way realistic. No one is running around with that many grenades in the real world.
No, I mean, let's be honest. Probably 3 or 4 Mark Vs is I'd say is a little bit more than what you would a real hand grenade. You'd maybe 1 or 2. But I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'd certainly say like 10 Mark 5s in you, and you got 9 smokes on you, and it's just like, come on, lads. You know what I mean? You're like a one-man army there, just like all day long, which is great fun and all that. But I haven't seen rules to say you can't carry that amount, so I think it's just personal choice, isn't it? It's up to them.
Yeah.
Their money.
one aspect of day sacks, actually, with referring to the mortars, that I really like is the fact it makes it more like crew operated.
Definitely, absolutely. I love that.
If you've got one person carrying the mortar, you've got one person carrying the ammo. It makes it more, to me, like an actual mortar. And I know that there are, there's the shoulder mounted things that people fire like that and probably should fire like that. But I just like that, and I'd love to see more. And I don't know how it'd work because LMGs, as soon as you start going to airsoft guns, it makes it a lot more complicated. But I really like the idea of like crew served LMGs, or just proper like big chunky machine guns, and like the mini guns and stuff like that. If you had like a little turret operated one of those, if someone's got a massive ammo thing, to me that seems a lot more functional.
Yeah, as a crew, like it can't be operated by one person. 2 people have to be in that vicinity for it to be operated, sort of thing. Yeah, that'd be cool, definitely.
Sorry, just jumping back in the chat. Ray says the pulse oximetry, mate, not pulse pressure thing. It tells you how much oxygen is in your blood. I would agree with you, except the one that I bought was off Wish, and it only told you your pulse, and it did that wrong because it was on. You are alive. Yeah.
Thank you.
I get what you're saying, Rage, and I appreciate that. Probably offends you, but it was from Wish, and it was like £1.50.
It's the trouble when you've got medical professionals in the chat. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna fuck up.
I know. I'm just going to give Andy Bob the credit here. He's done another picture. So Andy last week set up the We Hate Mike Fraser group on Facebook. That apparently is going to turn into the unofficial fan page of the NoFo team. So if anyone would like to join it, it will get changed the name eventually. But feel free to...
Isn't it currently now Mike is Batman?
I don't know what it is at the moment. It might well be.
I hope there's
Mike is Batman. It's been changed to that. Yeah,
oh, brilliant.
That won't be all about me, but if anyone wants to share other bits and pieces on there, feel free to do so as well. And he also says, do you guys ever have fixed packs on your plate carrier like the Warrior or Viper packs, or do you run more along the lines of back panels like the Cry pouch systems?
Well, for me, like I said, mate, I only ever use a day sack as in a backpack, so it'll either be with shoulder straps that I can take off and ditch it whenever if you get into a contact or you're back at the fob, you want to lose the pack, but keep your plate carrier on, so you can just take that backpack off. Yeah, it's got the chest strap for some more support on the front there, so that's a lovely bit of kit, that is. I've got that one there, and it's the same for my other ones. I've got the Camelback Motherload, which is more, I'd call that more like a 24-hour. Like you could probably get away with like a one overnighter with it. It's a big old bag. It's got wicked compression straps on it, so it will make it smaller. But I mean, you can just pack that for days. You literally can. That's like an event bag almost. If you're clever and smart with it, I'd definitely say it's a summer event bag. If you're hammock, jungle bag, and a basher, that you can get a hammock, jungle bag, and a basher pretty much in that front pocket there, so which leaves you room for days. You got a lot of real estate on there to put other bits and bobs in. And then sort of my final one, which I use, is basically it's a bit of a knockoff of the British Army Northern Ireland Patrol Pack, but it's literally an MTP. And again, the Northern Ireland Patrol Packs are wicked bags, great bags. They are nice and strong. But yeah, all my packs are all shoulder strap mounted, if you like. So I don't have anything that's mollied onto my back, if you like. So I want to be able to get very self-sufficient, if you like, Andy, with my setups. I like to be able to get to things myself. In essence, I mean, obviously a webbing set. If it's a ball, like you can. The thing is, you can ditch the webbing set easy quicker than I think you probably can a plate carrier, maybe. But from a backpack kind of perspective, it'll always be just like a free running one that I can ditch and chuck off, or especially getting out of vehicles as well. If you've got a back panel on your plate carrier, which is chock
that was exactly what I was going to say. So I've just found, for anyone that doesn't know, this is the
the back panel. I've got that in OD green.
Yeah,
over there. Sorry,
they do these in a range of colours. So this is the system that Andy was just talking about, and I used to run exactly this on my plate carrier, and I didn't find it too bad. I completely appreciate what you're saying in terms of being self-sufficient. For the most part, that was one of the reasons I ditched it. The main one that I ditched it for was merely the fact that if you're carrying a Bergen and that's attached to your plate carrier, that is so uncomfortable to carry the Bergen with that fixed to your back.
Yeah.
So by having a completely empty back, and again, we're getting in cars, and I found that out at one of the Legion events. So I was running cars.
He's back.
Sorry, whoever sits in one of the cars and basically like runs that car, or the Hilux, whatever it is. I was sitting in there and I found myself leaning forward, and it was so uncomfortable. So that was why I decided to ditch that, because it's just, again, as you say, so much quicker just to take it off. You can sling it back on.
Yeah.
I get that there's probably an advantage there with it being a lot more stable, so it's obviously properly fixed to you. So there's not a lot of freedom going on there. Whereas with a backpack, if you don't have it like properly strapped down, you can get sort of a bit more wiggle.
Wiggle.
But yeah, I don't dislike the bags, but you know, there's nothing against Viper there. It's just merely I didn't.
They're a great bag. Don't get me wrong. And I know you can get them. And I'm sure they come with shoulder straps as well, which can tuck down inside. So you get the molly back,
so, yeah.
And so you have got the best of both worlds. So you could, there you go. So you could buy it for its molly attachments. Try it if you don't like it, whip them off. Then you got shoulder straps there. So you have got the best of both. How comfortable it would be with them straps? They look quite thin.
Yeah, so those straps.
You're not going to be carrying a great deal of weight in a pack that size, I don't think. So
no,
maybe they'll be okay. They're sitting over the top of a plate carrier. So again, the old paddy. Oh, terrible burps after that Coke. I do apologise. I'm sitting there going, yeah. Very quiet. But yeah, like Mike said, with vehicles, getting in and out of a vehicle that's got, I mean, with a plate carrier on sometimes, I mean, chest rigs all day long if you can. Plate carrier with an empty back, obviously you're fine. Webbing's a bit of a ball ache in itself, you know, for obvious reasons. But then having that fixed back panel, like whether it's like a cry utility panel on the back with like extra mags and bits and bobs in, or mission specific kit, having that on the back, it's just it's doable, but it's not the best. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I prefer. If I've got a day sec on, got to get in a vehicle, whip it off, it's on my lap, still ready to go. As soon as I'm out, back on. You know, is it much balling around? Not really. You know.
I mean, the other thing with vehicles as well is that if you are going to run in a vehicle in any way, pick a better weapon system than a massively long DMR that you've got to get in the car and you're like, and it's all up, stuck in front of your face and things. Well, that's just another little thing that I learned at the same time. So
some little short carbine stuff would be good.
Yeah.
MP5s.
Yeah. I bought the M249 Para. So
yeah. Well, there we go. That's it. It still begins with M. It's fine. Close enough.
It's fine. Les says it's okay with getting into the gameplay, but you still need to think about the cost side of it. The cheaper, the better. Yeah. Fresh Speed said only took 8 rounds out in a rear pouch. I think we're sort of catching up with them.
That's for the mortar for Imperium. Yeah, me and Wayne had our own little mini mortar crew going, which was great fun.
Try being sent running up a hill with an MK46 up front and a tube on the back. Hey, Lance.
Yeah, imagine that. Yeah, horrible, isn't it, Wayne? Yeah, so you did it. You didn't have to. Wayne, get up that hill now. Okay.
Nick says we have a World War I group and they have a 3-man crew rule on tripod machine guns. You see, that's awesome. that works really well. But the only hesitation I had earlier is the fact that
you can brew a cup of tea out the water tank, can't you, off the Vickers? Then you just tip the hot water out and make a cup of tea out of it. Bro, I love that's so British, isn't it? Cup of tea, lad.
You see, that's really cool. I really like the idea of like these like big machine guns being crew operated. But then if you're fighting some little 16-year-old that's got a G&G CM16 with a box mag on it that's just firing full auto at the time, it completely negates that because
dual wielding them.
Yeah.
I do love the idea of that though. Just imagine 3 Toms just sat there around the Vickers, just done 1,100 rounds here, lads. What should we do? Let's have a cup of tea. Is that water right enough yet? Let's get the kettle. Come on, let's get a cup of tea on.
They used to have to piss on it as well, didn't they? Because they used to get too hot.
Also, yeah, definitely. Yeah. But it's just typical British mentality. What can we do now after this horrendous attack? Let's have a cup of tea. Brilliant.
That's what I do after most MilSims as well, to be fair.
Piss on a machine gun and have a cup of tea.
Yeah. Nick said he got given an Eagle Industries Marine Corps pack thing. It's big, sorry, but not too big. Cool.
Intriguing.
Rage says having them modded to your back panel is good if your Oppo has the same. You carry his stuff in yours and vice versa. It means you can access stuff while your Oppo goes to cover. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. It does work, mate. Buddy system, Rage, absolutely,
Yeah.
mate. Yeah, no, don't disagree with that at all.
I guess
I think it's personal preference, really, isn't it? With it.
Yeah, I mean, the only comment I would say is that if you've got a backpack, that's exactly the same, but then you could take it off as well.
Yeah. And the other thing, obviously, the other thing potentially is with that is that if your Oppo gets walloped and he's got to go back and respawn or something, he's potentially got all your shit in his pack. I don't know. It's whatever works best for the individual. I think at the time. I mean, for me, I have tried and mollied on my rig, and the biggest one for me was the fact I can't get to any of my own stuff without taking my plate carrier off. So I'm just sort of like, nah. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just going to use a normal backpack. A backpack. A satchel.
Andrew said, evening fellas, just got home. Hi, Andrew. Thanks for joining.
Evening, Andrew. Thank you for coming along, mate. Appreciate it.
And Les says, where's a team now? Have a 2-man mortar team. Nice. I do like mortars. They're just so much fun. I bought 20 mortar rounds at one of the last events off a dear friend, Kenny, and his shop, Empire Airsoft. He managed to sort us out with those, so can't wait to get back out and firing those. It was great because it's the first time actually that Imperium event that we actually fired sort of like 2 mortar tubes in unison. And I know we've been harping on about it for years now. I would love
3 mortars firing 3 rounds each.
It would just be amazing, just like boom, boom, boom.
But like, I think there is a vid flying about me and Wayne firing ours. I left a bit of a delay before I put mine down the tube, so boom, boom. It was just like, woo, this is fun.
Can you imagine though if we could like proper sync it up so we all strike them at the same time, bung around the tubes and just get this massive
noise, just boom. Like, the air would be out your lungs. It'd be like, oh my god.
Nick says, I mean, this is now straying into mortars rather than day packs, but Nick says, how often you have to clean the mortar tubes through? I've never cleaned mine.
No, I like the smell of it. I don't want to clean it out. I just give it like bang up and down on the. Well, Mark Kettles actually. Funny enough, I've got the video. Mark's got the video there. But what Mark tends to do now and again is he just drops a mortar round down there the wrong way, and that seems to blast everything out of the tube anyhow. So we're quite lucky in that respect that we've got Mark for mortar cleaning duties. That was so funny. He just struck it, but struck it. What do I say?
It.
He struck it. Thank you very much, Mike. He struck it. So, drops it down the tube, and it was literally a slow motion, like just sort of like, no, and he's like, shit, boom. I was like, I think we're dead. Fuck.
I have been
he's not in the team anymore. Oh, Dominic, straight for the jugular. Little internal joke there, ladies and gents. All good.
Yeah.
All good.
I've been slightly tempted. Again, we'll move back onto Day Sacks, but I've been slightly tempted to buy the TSFLX mortar. Like the actual proper one that they make, rather than because mine's made out of like a bit of scaffolding pole that kind friend Dan very kindly welded together for me.
Mm-hmm.
But this being the proper one, I'm kind of interested to see if you get any difference in like range or accuracy or flight.
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously the smoother the internal barrel is, the better. I mean, obviously with a scaffold tube, you're always going to have that join, that sliver of weld, which needs to be clean. You need to get a really strong, heavy-duty metal brush or cone cutter type brush and literally blast the inside of that mortar tube out if it's a scaffold one.
Yeah.
Just to stop the resistance on the.
And then I've never had a problem with it.
No, I haven't. No,
I'm not
mine's the same.
Sure, to be fair, what Dan's done for me on that one, but
oh yeah, Mr. Duke. I'll see it. There it is. Beautiful. No Pack Joy this week.
So I've been quite interested to see that at some point, but it is 100 and something quid, and I'm like, I don't know if I can be tempted to buy it for that much just to test it. Andrew says, never used a mortar. What would you recommend? To be honest, I would recommend you trying someone else's first.
Yes, mate,
if you
definitely.
can, if you get that opportunity. I don't know where you play Andrew regularly. If you're ever around in Kent, we got a few within the various teams that we're sort of involved with. So,
if I see it in an event, mate, more than welcome to have a go, bud. More than welcome to have a go, mate. See what you think. They're a great bit of fun, mate. You know, they add a nice element to the game, and obviously they add an element to your section that you're in, because then you've actually got a designated like mortar team, if you like Les mentioned there, is Reaper One Airsoft. They've got their own designated mortar guys within their team now, so that is a sort of another duty at an event that two guys can sort of carry out and sort of become proficient with, which is always good. You know, it's got that added bit of responsibility then in the section. Oh, we're the mortar team, wicked, right? Okay, looking for places to get set up, start laying rounds down. Yeah, perfect. But yeah, like I said, mate, if you're at an event, I'm there with the tubes. More than welcome to go.
It's so much fun.
Give you a silly grin on your face.
Fresh Meat said you can make one. It cost him nothing to do that. I guess, to be fair, it just depends on your technical ability, sort of how much you can do that. But yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Very good. It does, Joe. You're absolutely right, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. Dom says, makes a good point. Just remember to close your eyes when firing at night, because it is quite bright. It's also quite loud as well, so remember that as well.
Yeah, ear pros essential, chaps. Something else that we carried in the day sack along with the mortar. Actually, I did. I had a couple of sets of pelter ear defenders in there, British Army issue defenders in there for the tube. Failing that, finger in the ear hole, which is all good.
So, we obviously, one of the things I know you want to talk about as well, Lance, was the fact that we obviously use day sacks in pretty much our day-to-day lives as well. It's like an everyday carry type thing, which is what EDC stands for, in case anybody's wondering. So what sort of stuff do you have in like your life day sack?
Well, I mean, literally, it's my old 40-litre Combat UK sort of patrol pack type thing, if you like. And it always comes to work with me. It always goes in the car with me, no matter where I'm going. Do you know what I mean? I can even chuck it in the boot, or chuck it in the front footwell with me. And literally in there, I'll have, obviously going to work at night, I'll have my flask of hot water with my coffee, sachets, and my cup and bits and bobs like that. Small first aid kit, a power bank for my phone, a couple of spare bits and bobs, a head the head torch that's in the MilSim bag. I've also got one of them as well, because I swear by them. They're a great bit of kit. Rechargeable head torch. Just everyday bits and bobs. Do you know what I mean? That can just sort of get you out of a bit of a jam. But primarily is like a litre of water, a first aid kit, means to charge your phone. That's a big one for me. With a spare lead. I mean, I've got a lead in the car already that I can charge my phone. Phone always gets plugged in as soon as I get in the car, so it's always charging. But you never know really. And obviously that changes in with like going into the winter months. If I'm driving to and from work at night time, I'll start adding bits and bobs into it from there. Might chuck a jet boil in there. I know Dan, who's in our team, he uses his jet boil every night at work. Goes with him in his bag to work, so he can do a brew. Whereas I use my Stanley flask, which is a wicked bit of kit. So, yeah, what about yourself, mate?
So yeah, I mean, I'd say my murder bag is generally the one I carry around with me the most. I do have like a little get home kit at work, which kind of has a map. Emergency contact numbers are a really big one. I don't know anyone's phone number at all, and if my phone dies, I have no way of calling my wife. Yeah, I'm pretty much calling 999. That's the only number I can remember.
Can you please call my wife
for some reason, my old house number that I lived in when I was 15. So in the hope that they might be able to help. But it's really important as well. I mean, that's a sort of fairly transferable thing to Airsoft again. Have an emergency contact number on you. I mean, we're quite fortunate in that we play regularly as a team, and we kind of know other halves and bits and pieces as well. So if anyone's got a problem, then we can contact those. But if you're out playing on your own, or a new team, or just going out there with a couple guys from a different site or something like that, just have some emergency contacts and let someone know that they're there as well.
Yeah, I mean, even I've mentioned it before, and even if it's like if you're in a section of guys, even the team leader, if you could just say, look, mate, do you mind if I put this number in your phone, just as emergency contact? And he might say, oh, do you mind if I pop this one in yours? Or you might have a WhatsApp group with you could just put a picture in of an emergency contact number, just in case your phone does go down. You need to call someone and say, look, my phone's dead. You can reach me on this number for emergencies only. You don't get messages all day long from the missus on some poor sod's phone because yours is broken. Do you know what I mean? But for emergency purposes only, this is a number you can reach me on. If it all goes pear shaped. And likewise, let your family or friends know the site you're going to. and blah, and contact details to get hold of the site, maybe a postcode, anything like that, for obvious reasons, you know. So
Andy's got a really good point there. He had some dog tags made up with details on. That's a really good shout.
that is a good shout, mate. Fair play.
Just I guess let people know that the details are there, because otherwise it's, you know,
Luggage tag with numbers on as well.
it might not be the first place that I start looking for an emergency number. That's all. But yeah, luggage tag, that's another good one.
Yep.
So yeah. Nick says, what do you use to attach things onto the outside of the day sack, and what would the items be?
Ooh. Well, no, I mean, my Virtus assault pack's got Molly on it. Me British Army Northern Ireland patrol pack's got Molly paneling on the front, and the mother load. So it'd be, if I was to carry anything externally, it would be either via Molly attachment or maybe sort of like the utility straps, sort of like self-sealing the utility straps. But I mean, 90% of the time, Nick, all the contents will just be inside the bag. If I'm honest, mate. If the mortar tube's externally fitted, it's usually strapped on with the fast straps, if you like. Just go through the Molly, yank it round, Velcro's round, it just sits proud where it is. But yeah, I mean, rarely have I had to run stuff externally outside the pack. It's usually just been enough to contain it. I mean, if you do have to stop adding loads of stuff to the outside of the pack, I'll be more inclined to sort of upgrade the bag to a slightly larger size rather than adding lots of individual little bits on the outside of it. I'd sooner maybe get an individual pouch to go in the pack so you can reach in the bag and say, oh, right, that's that. This kit contents is this is that, rather than having loads of little bits externally, you know. I'll probably sort of steer
dry bag, something like that works well for that.
Yeah, in a dry bag, you can get little labels for it. You know what I mean? If you want to put a lot of foot care kit in there, you know, dry socks, sealskins, foot powder in that little dry sack there, the little label on it, you can do that. Or get different colour ones. Maybe if you can learn what the colour coding is for your individual bits of kit. You know, the red, green. You can millets do red, green, blue, and yellow in a little set. So there's always something you could do there. But yeah, I very rarely have anything externally mounted, even on my Bergens. Sometimes I've had to, I haven't had much choice, but I try and steer clear of having things outside of my pack, if you like. You know, sort of try and steer clear. Even like when like Mike said earlier about having the Molly bag fixed to his plate carrier, but then having to wear a Bergen. See, with my day sack, it'll be usually the last thing to go in the lid of my bag. So I'll pack all my bag up, get my day sack, either roll it up nice and small, or lay it flat inside the lid of my Bergen, then close it down shut. So when I get to the site, I can get my shelter set up, whip my bag out, get my day sack, chuck the bits and bobs I need in there, close my Bergen back up, and then pack's ready to go, nice and quick. So yeah, I very rarely, if at all, run anything externally, apart from maybe a waterproof cover on the bag, and that's it. Yeah, so sorry, mate, if I can't be more help. But Mike?
I was going to recommend these. These are quite good. These are these little plastic. They're not the best carabiners in the world. I definitely wouldn't use these for hiking. These actually come with some of the Miltech bags.
Yeah, they're Grimlock or something. They're Grimlocks or something.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember the exact name, but yeah, it doesn't have any branding on it. They're literally just a little plastic carabiner, so they're quite useful. But I'd agree with Lance. It's just I generally actually tend not to use anything on the outside of the bag at all. The only time I have is when I've used them for. I used one of the bags for filming up in London. We were filming a music video. I do a bit of filming and stuff on sidelines, not porn. But I use the bag. So the bag's got the little compression straps as well on the sides. That's probably the worst one to use because you can't see it. There we go. You've got the little compression straps on the side so you can make the bag bigger or smaller. They were quite useful for attaching a tripod in there, so you can use that for mortars as well. But for the most part, yeah, it's not so much for me just kind of being a pain on the outside. I'm always worried about losing stuff.
Yeah.
So
and obviously there's always that movement there.
Hanging off it.
You know, when something, I know, yeah, it's designed to have. They put Molly on there so you can attach stuff to it, but obviously there's your back, there's your backpack. You start adding bits onto it, and it just starts to go. You know, and you'll be adding that weight. There's that movement. You know, pouches shifting left and right. It's only so strong it's going to be. So yeah, if you can get it all inside the bag, the better, really.
Dimitri says, also want to point out, okay, cable ties with different sizes because you never know what you're going to need. Exactly that, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
The number of times I've had to fix other people's guns with cable ties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also, to be fair, if you ever need to arrest someone or anything like that, cable ties are good for that. The only thing I would say is make sure you've got cable tie cutters.
Yeah, make sure you've got the means to remove them. Yeah, definitely.
Because there's nothing worse than when you cable tie someone up and then you've got no way of getting them out.
Yeah.
So,
shit.
I'm worried about answering any of Joe's questions. Joe says Giacomo started doing pants with emergency contact seen in the waistband. That's actually quite a good idea. In the vast waistband.
Oh,
that's a good idea.
Oh, he's got another second underneath there. Mine is
That's enough to also include my blood type, inside leg measurements, full address, and email.
Fair play. Giacomo. Fair play.
Oh, Joe.
Oh no. Ugh.
Oh, Andy says you don't keep a knife in your murder bag. I do have a knife in there. Actually,
not a knife. I left my can of Coke next to the fan exhaust on my laptop, and it's red hot.
Oh, is it warm Diet Coke?
Yes, that's the best. Warm and flat. Yummy.
So Joe's just asked if I have a knife in here. I don't have a knife in here at the moment.
No, that'd be Mr. Bob.
The knife is part of one of the last previous episodes. We talked about the multi-tool type stuff, so I've got the little knife on there, and I've packed some of the EDC stuff into my hospital bag. So that's why I don't have everything.
Is the grappling hook going in there?
No, the grappling hook's not in the hospital bag, to be fair. I've got some waterproof matches.
I can see the wife looking rather terrified if you're stood at the end of the bed with a grappling hook. Like,
well, you never know. You never know. She did ask why I needed I took the little Allen key set. She asked why I'd need that, and I said, well, when I was when we went for the little visit around the birth suite, one of the cupboard doors in the kitchen was hanging off, so I'll fix that. That won't be a problem anymore.
We get all that squared away from them. Lovely.
These are quite good. I don't know if you've ever come across these. These are little Nalgene water bottles. I think they're made in the US. They are 1 litre, and you can store food and stuff in these as well. So the reason I bought that specifically.
Yeah, they're good for like trails and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what you mean by trails. What do you mean by trails?
Like just out and about, sort of everyday sort of bits and bobs.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, so
they're more versatile than a normal water bottle. Sort of.
Well, the reason I bought this is because of the wide mouthpiece. So when you carry, again, this is based on the predication that I've got a water bottle on me that I can fill up with water. Body part containers, they're not funny. Thanks, Andy. No, the reason I got this is that I can actually put things in them, so like food and bits and pieces like that. Rather than that, just take up a load of volume on its own.
Fit sausage in there.
You can fit sausage in there if you really want to.
Good.
So yeah, in terms of day kits and stuff like that, the main things to consider are obviously water, food, bits and pieces like that. Morale kits, sweets, anything that's going to keep you going, medications.
First aid,
ammo,
bits and balls like that.
Pyro, just any kind of disposables or what's the phrase? I can't remember the phrase.
Almost a sundry sort of thing.
Yeah.
Consumables.
Consumables, that's the one. So any consumables and stuff like that. One of the other things to consider is we did a game at Octo which required gas masks.
Mission type stuff.
Gas. Yeah. That again is mission specific. So.
Yeah, cool.
I haven't really got any more to talk about Days X.
No, Days X. Like I said, they're a good bit of kit. They're a good bit of kit to get used to using. If you've not used one before, they are handy. And obviously, there may well be certain things then which you carry on a plate carrier that you may not necessarily need to have access to all the time. That you could then sort of like put it into the day bag, and then you sort of like frees up some real estate on your actual plate carrier. Keeps it a bit more simple. You can fit trophies.
You can fit trophies from your victims in the
bottle. I reckon you get a nice stack of ears in that bottle. A little bit of pickle on the top, lovely.
Blind! I'm just sort of. Oh yeah, that's the medical kit as well.
Yeah, so that's the same one. Yeah, nice.
That's the St John's ambulance one.
It's quite a novel thing to have in a murder bag, a first aid kit.
Well, you don't.
In case you change your mind halfway through and think, oh no. Sorry.
Yeah. To be fair,
I've got time now.
That's actually not fully representative of the whole bag because I do have like shovels and ropes and stuff that goes with it, and it's just the only reason I've got. This goes into sort of the prepping side of things, but I've got a little bag at work that's got all the things that I might need to get home from my office, or to my car, and then if I can get to my car, then I've got more things in my car to get me home from there. It's not a proper murder bag.
A filmmaker with a murder bag. Want to play a game?
I'll tell you what. Genuinely, if we can keep November Foxtrot going for another year, I might genuinely make like some little murder bag patches, or like you can just buy a murder bag from me. There you go.
There you go. Mike's gonna make a murder bag, and it's gonna be one lucky
selling
winner.
Murder bags. Yeah. Anyway, Ray says, thanks, Rage, for another good question. You genuinely save this podcast sometimes. What make brand would you recommend for a day sack? Personally, I like Helicon EDC bag and the 511 Rush 24.
They're beautiful bags, cracking bags, especially the 511 Rush. For me, for a day sack, I'll go with the Camelback Motherload for me. That if I had to choose out of the three, if I had to choose one, it would be this one, purely because it can compact down nice and small, but then I can also pack loads of gear in there if I want to. Whereas obviously, if I could only go with a 17-litre assault pack, you're governed on the size of it then. But I used this at Longmoor for that event, Mike, when it was just pissing with rain all weekend. Yep. So I was able to carry like some dry kit in there in canoe bags and stuff like that, and it's so comfy as well. I mean, the back paneling on it, the padding on this pack is awesome. There's all these panels here. It's actually got so you can store a water bladder inside there, which actually keeps it nice and cool as well. It's a nice versatile bag. So yeah, for me, I've not used the Helicon one, so I can't really comment on it, bud. But for me personally, it'd be Camelback Maximum Gear, the Motherload backpack is be my one out of all of them. That'll be my choice to go to.
I'm just grabbing the bags specifically so we can look at those. So this is the Helicon EDC. Nice. Fine looking bag.
Yeah, they're sort of like your grey man sort of bag, aren't they? So it's not over tactically looking. Do you know what I mean? It's not too like.
I mean, it comes in.
Look at all the molly and all that all over it. It's quite subtle in that, I think.
So that's that one. I was just wondering what that colour is actually. Ooh, that's quite nice. And then, sorry, this is the 511 Rush. So,
yeah, smart.
Just in case anyone's interested.
Nice basic design.
Yeah,
but they're tried and tested, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've never spent that much money on a backpack of that size. Tends to be more Bergens than things if I've ever spent sort of that sort of region. Yep. But to say for me, these Miltech bags, I've never had a problem with them. They've always been perfectly sufficient. They come in pretty much all the camos that I need them to be in, to mix with the various loadouts. They've obviously got the Velcro on the front, and they cost 25 quid. And whilst I am an advocate that you buy cheap, buy twice, I've never had a problem with those at all, and I've been running those for probably 15, 20 years at this point. I used to have one of them I used to have at school as my school bag. So
yeah, nice, mate, nice.
Yeah. Nick says, what is Lance's bag called again, please?
That big one, mate, is the Camelback Maximum Gear Motherload. Yeah. So that is the Camelback Motherload backpack or patrol pack. That's that one there. And then the smaller one, the 17-litre, is the Virtus British Army Assault Pack, which this one here can actually zip onto the... there we go. That's pretty much it.
I think that's the light.
I think that's to be fair. This pack is probably a bit old now, so this might be an older spec compared to the new ones. But the gubbins essentially. I mean, for example, on this one here, like this main pocket on the front, if I open this up, it's actually got ammo pouches, and there is storage for days in there. Literally, if I open that up, so you've actually got compartmentalized pouches within that actual main pack. On the front there, you've actually got specific M4 mag pouch size things. You've got a nice bit of netted pocket there already installed. Large map case pocket there. I mean, there is storage for days. In it. So it is a great bag, and it's got retention straps internally as well. So if you do have a radio pack or something, like a small pelly case with your nods in, you can put it inside the main compartment, pull them straps up all nice and tight around it to hold it snug. So yeah, no, it is a good bag. It's a good bag.
Yeah. Thomas Constable, thanks for joining. What water bladders on your rig or on your day sack?
Oh, we sort of do both, don't we?
Yeah,
got the
see,
1 litres,
I
haven't
would
you?
always be an advocate of having water on you at
Yeah,
all
absolutely,
times.
100%.
With the benefit that a day sack that you can kind of dump it if you're not needing to carry it around, you should, in my opinion, always have at least a litre with you.
Yeah.
Whether that's in webbing or on I mean, the Source, we keep talking about the Source kangaroo pouches, which are like the 1 litre that you can molly onto your kit. That being said, water bladders in a day sack are also a good idea because you don't have to root around in a bag to try and find it. Again, usually they've obviously got a hose. You can just grab the hose and just drink from that, so you're not having to take something out. It's not like you've got to take a water bottle out of the bag, so you're not rooting around to have to find it.
Exactly that.
But
That's a
that
good
being
shout.
said, I always have a 1 litre Osprey water bottle with me just so I can grab that and take that quickly if ever I needed to, because that way you're not spending ages faffing about with your day sack if you just want to get back out in the game. You can just grab that and take that out with you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've got the 1 litre water bladder. I don't think it's any particular branded name. I think it's about 25 quid on eBay. Sort of took a bit of a punt at it. And it's actually really, really good. Like, I think I've described it before. The only downside to it was that with a lot of movement, the actual bladder bit you tighten up, if you want, can pop out of the housing that it sits in. Not that it leaks, but the actual camel bladder wants to come out of the main MTP bag. So because it would come with 2 handles, there was a handle on the main body of the bag, and then there was a handle on the actual water bladder itself. So all I've done, a little bit of sniper tape just to hold them 2 handles together, and that completely solved that problem. And that's a little 1 litre one that just sort of sits in between my shoulder blades on the back of my plate carrier. If it's full up, I don't notice it's there. If it's empty, again, don't notice it there. I can easily chuck a day sack over the top of it. And like Mike said, to have that 1 litre of water on you at least, on your person is a godsend, really. And that's obviously you're self-sufficient then with regards to the water. And then again, I may even carry even 2 litres of water in a day sack. One for it's easier to boil up if you've got a jet boil on you. You've got a bottle of water there you can use. And 2, if say Mike's water bladder went down, I've got a bottle of water here. Here you go, Mike. Have a drink out of that, mate, or whatever. Nice clean bottle there for him to use. So yeah. But I'd always have
I don't know if this is one you've got, Lance. This is the Warrior small hydration carrier in multicam. That's only 25 quid. So you're not talking.
No, I haven't got that one. I will find a link to it and stick it up on our, because I do recommend it, because I've used it for about 3 years now. I mean, I will grab it, but it's right over there.
This is UK Tactical, by the way, if anyone's interested. I mean, just to give you an idea of price comparison as well. So the Source one is obviously a lot more money. So, if you're budget conscious, there are sort of cheaper options for the little.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah. But then you can swear by the Source one. That's what you use, and you've not any problems.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't pay that for the Source one at the time because the price does fluctuate and it has gone up and down. I think when I got it in a bit of a deal, which was closer to the £25. So, yeah. But it's personal preference, and to say it depends on what budget you've got. But I would always try and have water on you as a kind of main point.
Oh, definitely, 100%, mate. 100%, yeah.
Silly Giddy, love Helican. Their MBDU trousers have lasted the longest out of any of the ones I've had. Cool.
There you go.
I like Helican stuff as well.
I haven't got any Helican stuff, actually.
Do you know, I've got their all of my trousers are all Helican.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what their name is. SFU Next, I think they're called.
I am tempted to get a set of US Woodland trousers with the old built-in knee pads, Mike. Because I know you're a bit partial to the US Woodland, aren't you? You do like that.
I'm only partial to the US Woodland because I can't find DPM that fits me because I'm fat. And
but I wasn't saying
that. Genuinely, this is not me trying to have people feel sorry for me, because I am a larger guy. I struggle to find I struggle to find ex-military stuff that actually fits me when it comes to clothing.
You're right with the helmets, though, aren't you?
I'm fine with helmets. That's because I haven't got a fat head. But yeah, in terms of clothes and stuff like that, if you get any stuff from Helican, sometimes the sizes you can't find on like all the other websites, but you can buy from Helican direct, and they've got the smaller sizes and the larger sizes. Rather than they don't just keep like the nominal ones in stock.
Yeah,
they've obviously got a wider range. So if you buy any Helican stuff, that's worth having a look. The Rush, Ray says, the Rush for a 24-litre bag can fit a ton of stuff in. I bought it when my son was born, told the missus we needed it for carrying baby stuff. Yeah.
Great shout, mate. Perfect. Absolutely.
Yeah. I can't wait for the baby to come, because obviously it's literally imminent. It could happen in the next half hour. It could be in 2 weeks. But because I've put all this tactical baby gear stuff from the website Tactical Baby Gear. Again, not a sponsor, but because I bought all of that, I'm really excited to use that and take loads of photos for Instagram as well. So
That's going to be cool.
Yeah, be prepared to see loads of those. Andy says, yeah, going back to the water, always both. Can never have too much water, even more so in summer games.
Yeah,
completely agree.
Absolutely.
Charlie Gaines says, boys. Right, Charlie.
Hello, mate.
Silly Gilly says, is there a cheaper version of the Source Kangaroo? I just want a bladder like Frodo and Sam in Mordor, no pipe.
So it's like an old school bladder to drink from.
Yeah, I think the
wow.
What's the name of it? I think name a company that makes hydration pouches.
Source.
No, it's not Source.
Well, that would be funny, but
no, I'm ignoring you. Here we go. Yeah, Camelback. So on this, back to the Warrior website, not the Warrior website, UK Tactical. These little
Ed thinks he wants to just drink from like a horn, doesn't he? Of like some old leather-bound Viking.
If you just want the pouch, so you can get a 1.5 litre bladder from Camelback as well. So they do those. So I hope that's of help. Dimitri says another thing about the prices there on Facebook Marketplace. You can find so many bargain stuff. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Nothing on the second-hand market, buddy, at all, or nearly new things like that. Car boot sales or like ex-demo stuff. Military, like you got Military Odyssey coming up, or is that all been and gone?
Not sure when that is.
No, it's like a bit of a boot saley type military event. I don't know if it's as big as War and Peace Revival. I'm not sure if it is or not. I don't know much about Military Odyssey, but yeah, places like that, Raw and Peace Revival. Hopefully, if that's back on next year, is an actual gold mine for kit. If you're in the market for getting some bits, guys, and if you want a wicked weekend away, War and Peace Revival at the Hop Farm in Tunbridge, in Kent. Have a look out for that next year. That's a wicked.
Well, I was going to suggest that
overnight.
The two of us could go at some point. When it's on, like it's midweek or whatever. It's quite good. I have a theory that by the end of the week, because I think it starts on like Tuesday and runs till Saturday. I have a sneaky suspicion that a lot of the good stuff goes before Saturday. So my plan this year is to kind of go Tuesday, Wednesday, or like within the first 2 days.
Yeah, if you do want some bargains, though, obviously as the guys are packing the stalls up at the end of the weekend, there's usually a few bits left to be had at rock bottom prices. But yeah, definitely get yourselves along there, guys. That's a wicked shout for a little weekend away and a bit of a spend up if you want it. Woo-hoo.
I mean, you can buy everything there from huge Nazi flags to huge Allied flags.
and that's the limit. That's Mike's knowledge when it comes to what's
as long as you like flags
at the War and Peace Revival. Yeah, that's such a terrible example of what you can get.
I know. I mean, they've got stands there like Soldiers of Fortune. I know they specialise in a lot of sort of reproduction and original replica kit. So if you're going to be doing any MilSims that are World War One, World War Two,
Vietnam, loads of Vietnam, like a big Vietnam reenactment presence there as well, isn't there?
Yeah,
which is always cool to see.
But they've got all sorts of stalls. I mean, you've got the one that just sells deactivated firearms. There's usually two or three. There's actually usually two or three, maybe a few more airsoft stalls. There, I think Airsoft World go. So there's normally sort of a fair few sort of from there. So yeah, highly recommend that. And there's also all the rest of the stuff that goes on with that festival. It's not just a boot fair. Basically, it's you've got like loads of reenactments and bits and pieces and tanks rolling around and stuff like that. So
nice.
Andy says, I don't think the Warrior one comes with a bladder, but the Source one comes with a bladder, hence the price difference. Oh, okay. Let me just double check.
That'll be why then.
Oh, no, you're right. Sorry. I am so sorry. I've completely misrepresented that there. Yeah, please note this image is for demonstration purposes only. This is the outer carrier only. It does not include the bladder or the hydration tube. Oh, well, there you go then. So if you'd like a carrier, yeah, or that one. But you can buy the 1.5 litres. I was just Googling those as well. I mean, the bladder for the Kangaroo Source one on its own is only 30 quid. But you can get this Rock Rider one's £8 from Decathlon.
Don't know how good they are, so I can't comment.
No, I can't comment on that. But yeah, so I mean, to be fair, it's got 4 stars out of 41, so might not be terrible. But
okay, I'll find the link to that one I've got as well, because that was an extortionate price, and that come with everything, all the bells and whistles. And I think that was around the 20-25 quid mark. and it's not failed me. Like I said, you have to do a little mod on the. It's got 2 handles, one on the outer casing and one on the actual internal bladder. And all I did was sniper tape them both together. I don't really know why it needed to have 2 handles, but there is stuff. That soon fix that.
Cool. Charlie says, with water for myself depends on the AO. If it's urban, I'll skip any hydro as you will only be out for a short period of time. But if it's a rural long distance op, I'll rock a Crido inside my Camelback motherload for hydro.
Nicely done, mate. Cool. Fair play, yeah.
As
long as you've got the water covered, that's the main thing.
I would still suggest having a bit of water on you personally, because I've done stuff at Longmoor where I thought it was only a short period of time and then you're out for 4 hours.
Well, we done it at QRF, didn't we? We ended up being out for just over 3 hours, wasn't it? After securing the fob again.
Personally, I would probably still suggest taking water, but again, personal preference. I'm not going to criticise anyone else for doing what they do. Ray says, I've used Helicon for years before I got into Airsoft. So
nice. I'm going to have to look into this stuff.
Sorry, I'm confused now. Silly says, I want some of it to spill over my face.
I think he's talking about the bladder, the water bladder. When he's drinking from it, he doesn't want a tube. He wants to pour it out.
Ah, okay. So it goes all in the mouth doesn't do it for me. Out of context, mate. Blimey.
Wow. All in the mouth doesn't do it for Mister.
Dimitri says, a couple of people are saying this. Dimitri says the end of August for the military odyssey at Detling Hill.
Oh, okay.
Les also said the same. Nick said there's an Airsoft fair at Newark on Sunday.
Look at all these events coming up. Look, everyone's just
Harry Badger. Hi,
Harry.
Cameron's back. Harry. Midlands Airsoft Fair. I never know exactly when it cuts out. Hi, Harry. Midlands Airsoft Fair is on this Sunday up in Notts. So yeah, there's loads of stuff coming up. There's the Airsoft
Festival. To see as well. It's a bit of return to normality, which is always great. And good for the vendors as well, which is what we like to
National Airsoft Festival is opened their booking recently. I appreciate that there's still a little bit of concern about COVID at the moment. I'm booked on. So if anybody would like to come and see me, I've also bought a 6-meter high flagpole for my gazebo so that I can raise the NoFo flag on high.
Hurrah and huzzah.
So feel free to come and say hello if I'm around. We will have some patches for sale there as well. And yeah,
and Mike's going to give out free kisses.
It'd be cool to if you want. It'd be cool to meet. I might bring the murder bag, and people can have their picture taken with the murder bag.
With the murder bag, yeah.
Andy Bob said just buy the ice plate carrier if you're running a plate carrier. Yeah, so that's another way of keeping water on you as well,
especially in the summer months as well.
Yeah. Damien, hi Damien. I carry the Issue Camelback 3 litre.
Yeah, I've got one of them with DPM. Yeah, they're good. Are they the ones that, Damien? They're the ones that's the it's got the shoulder straps and that. You can fold it away into the Camelback. And I'm not sure mine can molly on, where it's got like the PLCE mount, so you can mount it onto stuff. But yeah, it's got loops in that, so you can just zip tie onto a rig if you wanted to. But they're wicked. They are the 3 litre ones. They're really good.
Okay. And Harry makes a really good point. I know we've raised this before. The trouble with the source bladder, if you lose the bite nozzle, you're fucked. You can't suck in. Sorry, I can't read. You can't suck anything out of the tube because of the anti-leak valve. Completely agree. Always, if you've got a source bladder, I found this out to my detriment the other day. Have a spare nozzle, and I will be sending source an email about that because, I like the bits of kit. I think they're really good. But that let me down for me, so I'm going to let them know.
A strongly worded letter, I think, is in order.
Yeah, that's what I was planning.
There's a picture at the bottom just saying, by the way, this is my murder bag. FYI.
Yeah. Cool. Right. I think that's pretty much the end of the episode. So thanks everyone for joining.
DPM MTP. Yeah, I've got mine in woodland DPM, mate. My one. Nice.
I need to look this up. I've not been aware of that.
Yeah, British Army issue, mate. Camelback 3 litre water bladders. And it's almost like a backpack type version.
Fair, I think that's what's in the that one I was talking about at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you remove the bladder from the bag, Damo, or not? I don't think I've ever tried doing it. I usually just wash it and leave it in the bloody out of canvas sort of bag. I'll just leave the bladder in there, just wash it out.
Why don't we talk about something else then?
I don't know. It's very puzzling, isn't it?
Yes. Confusion to end the show. Fresh Meat said yes, and Damien says yes. So apparently you can take it out.
Good.
There you go.
We'll just cool. I haven't. Right. So there.
So yeah, if you want to get in touch with us, next week we're going to be doing a general Q&A. because I don't know how busy I'm going to be this week. We haven't really got time to plan an episode. And yes, we do spend some time planning these episodes. So I appreciate it doesn't always come across as we do.
But there could be a baby.
Yeah, hopefully there will be. That'll be pretty cool. Sorry, I just got sidetracked by something else. I'm not going to talk about it on the podcast because it's disgusting. If you want to get in touch with us, you can contact us.
No favors.
I know, nofochat@hotmail.com. You can contact us on Instagram at November_Foxtrot_NoFo. Facebook is at November Foxtrot NoFo, and YouTube you have to search November Foxtrot because we're still only at 86 subscribers. And if you would please like to subscribe to us, I only want us to get to 100. After that, I will never ask people to subscribe again, and that's purely so we can get a really funky, customized URL. Rather than all the ones and zeros that you can imagine, because it's a nightmare and we look like a spam.
Looks like a line from the Matrix. Make it itty bitty small and easy.
Yeah,
That'd be grand.
Assuming that we can keep that after we've got to the 100, I'm quite happy for people to unsubscribe. You don't have to follow us.
No, you're not selling us, Mike. You're not selling us, damn it.
No, it's fine. If people want to follow us, they'll follow us. If not, that's fine. I haven't got a problem with that. So, Dimitri says I'm subscribed. Thanks, mate. Les says good luck with the baby, Mike. Thank you. I'll let you all know how it goes. Cool. Yeah,
awesome.
That's pretty much it. Nice one. Well, thanks for joining us. Appreciate. We will be. We've been moving about, so we'll be back again next week on Wednesday. Back to our usual programming, and then coming up after that, we've got a few interesting shows planned. Where we're going to be recovering some of the stuff we've talked about before in terms of comms. I think we're going to be talking in an episode. Yeah, there's going to be again. This might be one of the things I also fix for the next few episodes.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Internet.
That'd be well, Andy.
So anyway, yeah, thanks for joining, and we will see you soon. Say goodbye, Lance.
Goodbye, Lance.
See you later, NoFos.
See you later, chaps.